Hi guys, welcome to GladrapChannel.
Looks bright as there, brother. How you feeling? You don't look too banged up.
Nah, just a little heat clash in the seventh. Apart from that, yeah, that's what it is, mate.
Okay.
Shit.
And, all right.
Cold down
So
there?
I'll start it off. Okay.
All right.
All right. GladrapChannel joined here with the new champ, the new IBO Oceania Featherweight champion, Nort Beauchamp. I'm also joined with Isaac Savage and also Benji Watt. How's it going, everybody?
Awesome. Life is good.
The biggest smile in the world right now is coming from Nort.
The
champ is here.
So, man, so this was quite an upset across the Tasman. Tell us about it, man. How'd you find the fight?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's a big upset. Considering the numbers on paper, but I just said get him in there with me, and I believe I have the talent to beat him. So it took a lot of scouting, and we had to dissect him and take away his strengths really, and a lot of his strengths were his experience. So we had to get him out of his game plan was the main thing, because he's used to winning. He's been winning there for 10 years, hardly lost a round. So yeah, it was a lot of preparation went into this one, which paid off.
Yeah, because what he's a crazy record, right? 33 wins.
33 wins, 2 losses, only to world champions. So yeah, it was a big ask, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think also with what Kyrie said on Facebook, it's only an upset when you're upset, and I don't see anyone here upset at the moment.
No, not on this side of the Tasman, mate. Yeah, we're pretty happy here.
Hey, Nort, you just talked about the guy's record. Obviously, a very impressive record. Do you think they brought you over there not for the upset, but more so a win for him?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had to take advantage of that. It was like that's exactly what they brought me there for. You know, for my 16-2 record, which will look good on his record and bump him back up the WBA rankings a wee bit more to get him back in title contention. So we had to take advantage of that and make sure that that wasn't going to happen on our watch.
Beautiful. How was the crowd and the support too? Obviously, you're the Kiwi. You went over there. There's still Kiwis there, but was it still all good when you went over there and stripped or stole away that title? You know, you're taking home the strap. Were they still all good?
Yeah. So the support was good. The promoter was good. Like there was no bad vibes or animosity from the crowd. Like they started cheering for him, but halfway through the fight, everyone loves the underdog. So a lot of Aussies were cheering for me, to be honest. I had a few Aussie boxers put some money on me as well.
Oh,
that's great.
I won't say any names, but
Yeah, because if you look at the odds, right? So Joel was at $1.12, and Nort was sitting at $5.70, so almost $6, man. So,
yeah, I was saying, nah, he's not 5 times better than me, and there's not 5 of them in the ring, so I don't know what they're talking about.
Why hasn't anyone told me? I was a cheeky 10 on.
Yeah.
iconic place to be at too. The Melbourne Pavilion. I mean, that's where a lot of legends have fought. That was your first time there, or not your first time boxing there?
I was in awe, mate. That place is beautiful. Like I love to fight there again. Yeah, it's surreal, mate. There's like 10 TV screens up there, lights, camera, action. You know, private booths that people are watching down on. It's like out of a movie. It was a lot of fun fighting there.
So talking about the fight, you know, you had a lot of success in the clinches, and you know, you seem to find you were landing that straight left on his face at any time you wanted. I mean, you did quite well against him, right? I mean, did you feel you were right up there in that level and even better?
Yeah, absolutely. So we always believe we're up there in talent, just not in ranking. So that was I took a pay cut to prove this one, to prove that point, and so it was all about the game plan. So it was all about coming out and shocking him early to winning the first 2 rounds. That's why I came out extra busy. Like a lot of people know me as a slow starter, but I had to come out and get him off his game plan and win the first 2 rounds and really let him know my skill set and that I was there. throwing everything in the clinches. Yeah, that leaping left hand was something we scouted as well. Like he likes to come forward with a high guard, but his high guard was slightly wide, so you can pop that left hand in there. Yeah, but first we needed to get him off his game plan and get him chasing, which we did, and it was chasing all match, which he tends to think less.
Do you think he struggled with the southpaw? And did you ever switch stance, or did you always keep it southpaw? And was he moving away from your rights?
Yeah, so I stayed southpaw predominantly. I've done a lot of work with Eugene and the city kickboxing crew that I can switch stance on the inside now. So it didn't matter which stance it was when I was inside, but from the outside, yeah, predominantly southpaw.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think it was in the 5th round. You knocked him down, but they.
Oh, yeah, I did knock him down, and I did hit him with a beautiful left straight to the button, and he did fall over. He was a bit off balance, so they didn't give me the point on it. But yeah, I did hit him. I did hit him.
And every time you try to like, you did a good job in sort of trying to get you towards the ropes, but you always gave him a reason to hesitate, right? Like you always made him, you sort of gave him a good reason to not come forward all the time.
Yeah, so even though I don't have the highest knockout ratio, I do have a bit of zap on my punches to keep people aware. And I believe I got the fastest lead right hook in town, and I can catch people on the way in, and it just sets them, puts them off the combination they were setting up with. It's kind of like Nate Diaz's Compton slap thing. Yeah, it comes from the side and it just smacks them on the side of the face. Yeah, it's something I work on and extremely quick. So it sets them off and puts me in a position to dodge and weave after that.
You kind of look like Pacquiao with that leading left, man. Like, were you trying to emulate Pacquiao at all? Or?
Yeah, so I did take a lot from I do take a lot from Pacquiao in general, and that shot was something that we were working on all camp, and just the footwork and movement, because we knew we were the faster fighter, and we knew we were better on the feet. And I'm normally a go forward fighter, and that's what they would have scouted. So, but this fight, I was dancing and moving back and doing a lot of movement. Yeah, so allowed me to jump back in with the shots once he was pushing forward too much.
I'm not sure if you watched the live streaming, like if you got a chance to watch some of the archived footage, but the commentators sort of had you losing. But I was doing a round by round assessment. I had you winning. But how did you feel in the fight? Did you feel it was a close contest, or did you feel like you sort of had him? Like,
I had me up 7-3 or 6-4 at the worst. Like I had me up. I was counting the scored shots. Like he was actually doing everything right. He was pressing forward. He was moving, throwing tidy combinations, but they were not landing. And if you're there nice and close, you would have seen he didn't even hit me at all. So I was zooming on my eye.
Oh,
which
yeah,
that's the heat clash.
Bit dark.
But apart from that, I'm untouched because he didn't hit me at all. Nothing clean. I can't remember my hair popping back or anything. I remember him working on my guard into my body a wee bit, but nothing too effective.
And I think I'm pretty sure you got the damage against him as well, because I think you definitely did knock him down in the fifth round.
Yeah, no, I did knock him down, and I wobbled him a few times as well. I was going to press forward even more, but yeah, I got strict instructions to stick to the game plan. But yeah, I felt like pushing forward, and I could hit him when I wanted to. But yeah,
because check it out. Look how red this guy is. Like if you see this footage here.
Your first judge, Chris Anderson Senior, had it 97-93 in favour of.
How did you feel? Do you think it's a blow in your favour?
Oh, this one.
Your second judge, John Thomas, had a score 99-91 in favour of the red corner, Nort Beauchamp. Your third final judge,
I'm out of town, so I've got to go for the knockout because that's not always the right tactic. And to the fighter that says, "Oh, I did enough," but it's a hometown decision. So I take them two factors into camp and make sure I do extra each round. That's why sometimes I was just throwing wildly, things like that, just showing my body language, showing my energy that I was on top. So you got to do that a little bit extra. And I've learned from going to Australia for my last 4 title fights and coming away with 3 of them that you just got to show that a little bit extra and close the rounds off clean.
You just talked about taking a pay cut to prove a point. Do you feel now it's going to even be harder for you to get fights? You've got that leverage now. You've got that title. I mean, who next, bro? I know that is the key question, but have you actually thought about who is next, and is it going to make things a little bit harder to get the fights with that extra strap?
Yeah, so it will be a little bit harder, you know. I'm open to the rematch of this because they were a bit upset online or whatnot, or not Joel in particular. He's been a champion in and outside the ring. Like I can't say enough good words about the man. He's been great, but just his team, they don't want to have another go, so they know my number. Like they're still at 10K, want to take 2 or something, you know. But if not, you know, I can keep circling around the Australian circuit, which isn't the primary goal. It's next one's so if this is my second IBO title, me, the team, and a couple of promoters, believe I'm a couple of fights away from a title fight, an IBO title fight. So we'll be looking at that.
Yeah. Last time you this is actually your 3rd title. Last time title, you kind of did like a little wrestling Facebook thing.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do another one? You gonna do another one?
Yeah, I've got to do another one. I like that stuff. You know, I'm a big wrestling fan as well.
In saying that, you actually read my mind, Nort, because you know, we're getting a little bit older now, and this is you got to be in it for sometimes a short time, not a long time. Is that the goal? The next few fights, you do want to get that world title shot. You know, get past these Aussie guys, and you're actually starting to build a bit of credibility. So why not?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking at Singapore next, and we've been in talks with some promoters, and so that's looking positive. So it's looking like towards Asia to build the rest of the career, because we can get the right fights there. We're running out of Aussies to beat, and
Hey,
we've got to look elsewhere.
Nort, what about this guy?
Billy Dib, yes, yeah, no. See, these are the big names. So apart from Joel Brunker, there's Luke Jackson and Billy Dib, who are truly world-class fighters, and someone people I'd really like to get in there with, because I believe I'm up there too, and I'll be able to beat these guys too. But we'll see how they go and do world title fights. So I've got a couple of tough guys to get over. You know, if they don't get over them, I'll be ready to fight them.
Love it. You must have heard of a program called Fight Call Out. They have it in Australia. It's kind of like a version of what we do, and it's an opportunity, I guess, like this, and for other boxers to get on that Australian platform. And I feel they do favour Aussies, but would that be something you'd be willing to go on as well and talk about and have a few call outs?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm all for it, mate.
Nice. Might have to talk to Kali Meehan and the boys then.
Yeah, let them know, Isaac. Let them know. Let them know about the assassin down here. Like, yeah.
And saying that too, bro, you talk about the camp. I've seen you doing a lot of travel lately. You talk about Eugene up here at City Kickboxing. Who down in Christchurch do you get to spar that's kind of at your level? Would it be Bowen, and who else have you been sparring to get in prep?
Predominantly Bowen and Josh Heffley are the pros that I do most of my work with, and then I invite the amateur teams in. Like, you can't underestimate the work you do with the amateurs just because they're so sharp, and as long as you keep them rotating and keeping them fresh, they really push you to the limit as well. Like, I'm that type of sparrer that I probably win about 60% of my rounds in sparring, just because I like the high level competition. It sharpens me up, and and if I'm winning too many rounds, I'll simply travel to another city and and spar their fighters just to make sure it's not like an illusion of me being real good.
And so, how do you and Bowen go? I'd love to see some recordings of that. Is that secret squirrel footage, or do you guys have
mate,
quite a good go?
There's some wars in there. There's some big wars in there, like
with armed security, like hiding the video footage.
Yeah, mate, there could be some pay-per-view, some of them sparring sessions. But
Did you?
Hits very hard though. The guy hits very hard.
Did you see the fight with Shea Brock?
Oh yeah, mate, I seen that one. Crikey, Shay, whoa, what a legend. Jeez, I've been in there sparring with Bo, and I don't want to be taking them shots and to come back and land shots of his own and win around at the end as well. True testament to what a warrior he is. Jeez, we knew he was good, but I didn't know he was that good, and I hope he keeps fighting, man. I hope he keeps fighting. I know he's talking about retirement, but nah, man, you're too good, too young. Yeah, keep fighting, Shay.
And then like he also managed to get a cut on Bowen as well.
Yeah, so he did great. There's takes nothing away from what a fighter he is. What it is stylistic matchups, and they were similar in style. Apart from Bowen was a lot more compact in his punches, which showed throughout the fight. So just gotta be careful who you match your fighters up with. Shay's just you know just is a world class fighter as Bowen as well. We just gotta make sure he gets matched up stylistically well. He can go all the way, that guy. And we see it on that Shane Cameron fight night. That yeah, he's the goods.
Yeah. So with Bowen Morgan, he just won his second New Zealand title against Shay Brook. So will you be going after New Zealand title yourself?
Oh, absolutely.
Would be nice to have
it's always been on the agenda, and it's something I don't want to miss out on in my career. But it's also there's no little other fighters around, unfortunately. But yeah, but once someone rises up the ranks a bit, yeah, I'll be waiting for them.
Hey, Nort, you go by the name the Assassin, but where is the smiling assassin, Deacon Henry? And how instrumental has he been to your success?
Oh yeah, so mate, he's been my right hand man all the way through my career. We haven't had no big promotions after us or anything. My gym, Deacon Henry, one more round, and my sponsor, Lance Ashanteras, has just been, 3 people doing it, and my family and fiance and my mum, everyone, and my children. It's been a small team, and it's hard to get 18 fights out. I know we're 19 fights in without their backing, but we just keep pushing, and especially taking losses in title fights and coming back and winning title fights. I've done that twice now, and I couldn't have done it without my team. Yeah, absolutely.
One more round has seen a lot of upsets, right? Even with Ratu Dawai, that upset with Rapira, and then you pulled out this upset.
Yeah, that's a big upset. So Rapira's extremely tough competitor and a quality experienced fighter. So we're rapt about that. He did well for that one, Ratu, mate. So yeah, he'll be up soon. He's just nursing a shoulder injury that he's just got to go under the knife about a wee bit, and then he'll be back to fight end of the year, and he'll fight anyone, that guy.
Did he sustain that injury from the Rapira fight, or?
I think so. Oh, I can't confirm that for sure, but yeah.
Hey,
he's fine. He's just nursing it a wee bit, and then he'll be back end of the year, and he'll take on anyone.
Another fighter on the same card that he fought at the Pavilion in Melbourne was Kiki Toa Latelli.
Yeah.
Talk about him, man. Did you know him before that, or did you just meet him in Melbourne?
So I officially met him in Melbourne, but I remember seeing him. He was in the 2012 Nationals that I competed in. And I said, "Hey, did you compete in the amateurs?" And then I remember him being very talented. He looked like a young Mark Hunt, and then when he fought, shit, he fought like a young Mark Hunt. That guy is talented through the roof. They weren't easy fights. He had some big boys and some talented boys in front of him, but he was too good. He was too slick. There's something special about that tour. It's very Mark Hunt like. It was just buzzing me out. I was watching it. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
I actually judged his second fight in Paia Tour in Manawatu, and I was watching him. I was like, there's something special here, and I feel like I'm actually that something's going to come big from this guy. And he ended up knocking, the Ali Lotto from Christchurch out as well. It's I did not expect that.
Yeah, no, he's a special fighter. There's something, he's a natural fighter like Mark Hunt. He rolls at the right time. He's got sleeping pills in both hands, and he's just got the got that natural movement and a good pair of eyes on him as well.
Did it kind of motivate you seeing another Kiwi, like, you know, demolishing people, like, just before you go on?
Yeah, no, we're hyped backstage. We're high-fiving. We actually stayed next to each other, like our rooms were next to each other. We're hanging out for a few days, you know. It was like the Kiwi takeover over of Melbourne, so yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. It's so good to see, you know, like the guys, especially from down south, too, take it to the world. I mean, it's a smaller population. Obviously, Jim's quite small as well. Is there any other ones that we should be watching out for, apart from the names mentioned in this convo?
Oh yeah, so like Josh Heffley, he's going to be making a good comeback. Like he's had hard, tough fights and a lot of short notice fights, but he hasn't fought this year yet, but he's putting a lot of work in. Like he's ready to go, and I believe he'll end up with New Zealand title by the end of the year. Like he's very talented.
You know, I've actually I was talking to Steve Scott, who's actually quite helped you a lot. He's helped Byron a lot, and he's helped a lot of the Christchurch boys a lot.
Great
he's actually talking up a lot. When I had a conversation with him of Josh, it's like, oh, something's changed with Josh. He's actually he's actually gotten a lot better as he's training at the moment. He thinks he could actually go quite far now.
Yeah, no, he's definitely improved lots. Like he had the 3 close losses in a row. He wasn't dominating in any of them. He just couldn't seal the deal. But just what I've seen from him in training, and with him and Bowen going toe to toe and sparring, like yeah, he's the real deal, and he's definitely going to be the next guy to watch out for down south.
Speaking of real deals, are you going to be watching the Parker Dillian White fight in, I think, 3 weeks' time? And if so, who's your money on? We're talking about odds. Who would you back in that fight?
Joseph Parker's going to knock him out.
That's great.
He's too quick. Got too much control with that lead hand. Dillian White will rush and he'll go down probably within 8 rounds.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think we should go through Nort's fight career so far, because he's had you've had quite a massive career, not just in pro boxing but also in.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, so like I think the biggest fight you've ever had was I guess this massive fighter. He's known everywhere, Isaac Savage.
What a segue! What a segue!
That's pretty good. I could see that coming a mile away. No, do you remember that fight with Isaac?
Yeah, so Isaac, you're an absolute soldier and a legend. So Isaac stepped up in like a day's notice, and we were just
it out.
He stepped up for his friend who wasn't fit to fight that day, and Brad Paul, absolute legend as well. Like couldn't have no more props for Isaac that day. We're both swinging, and Isaac went down. It could have been me, but we were rolling. The highlights don't do the fight justice, but Isaac, you can bang, my bro. You can bang.
Like I said at the end of that fight, because I was training at Crichton Cobbers years ago when you were training for Reese Papuni. I think you just finished off a kickboxing fight, and then you did some rounds, and you certainly banged hard then. But when we fought those years later, like I said on the mic, you hit a bit harder that night. You actually hit it way lot harder. And hey, like you know, Nort, if I had seen an opportunity, I'd have went for it as well. So. Yeah. Enemies for 6 minutes, 8 minutes.
Yeah, no, we've been friends for a long time, though. Hey, so yeah, it was a sporting matter, wasn't it?
Let's watch the footage if you don't mind. Just play it.
Sorry, bro. I'm sorry, Isaac, man.
Oh no!
Look at this. Look at this. It's right
beautiful,
now.
Beautiful. Kaboom!
Oh, it was a lucky shot.
And look at Nort celebrating, man.
Help me.
Oh, come on.
He's celebrating, man. And look at Deacon. You see Deacon, right? Deacon comes over and checks on you, man.
Wait, hey, no, you didn't help me out, mate.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Oh, no.
I think there needs to be a rematch now.
Oh, no.
Oh, look, it was a big ask on the night, and it was it was a bit of fun, and
yeah, it was. You're the man, bro. You're the man.
Isaac, talk about it, man. What did that feel like, Isaac?
Well, if you ask a lot of people when they have been KO'd, you never see it coming. And a lot of people, when they do get interviewed afterwards, they go, "Oh, how did it feel? What did it hit you? Where did it come from?" You can't answer that properly, because that's half the reason why you got knocked out. And it's a mix of 5 different things, speed, power, timing, a tiny bit of luck, and in the right placement. And he had all those movements that night. I didn't go the way I should have. I walked into the shop, lights out. I became an object of something I love so much, which is KO.
Love you, brother. I love you. I'm sorry, man.
It looked devastating, man. Like, you could see your legs sort of trembling at the end of the video. You know what I mean?
Oh, I was trembling for days. Hey, but Nort, you would have had a couple of hard
let's replay it.
Nort, how would you describe too when you get rocked pretty hard? It's not a great feeling, right? Who would have hit you your hardest in the career, similar to the way I got hit that night?
Jeez. I don't know. I've probably been hit hardest in sparring by a fighter called Reese Paponi.
Oh yeah.
Dropped me who hit me with a tummy shot that I wasn't right for a couple of days.
Wow, lightning.
I haven't been hit too much in the real fight, just because I'm more of a defensive fighter. So this always go as hard as I can within my system, and if it's too risky to go for the knockout, then I go for the points, and that's just staying healthy in boxing and looking after yourself so you can fight another day, things like that. But yeah, I haven't pressed too hard or been hit too hard in the rounds and in the fights. But yeah, Reese Paponi was the hardest punch I've been punched with.
At the end of the fight with Joel, you mentioned that you studied him. Can you describe more about how you prepare for a fighter?
Yeah, so I first started by just scouting on video, basically. And for this one, well, I wouldn't want to say it was particularly easy, but he was doing a lot of the same things in all of the fights. And what I seen was slow footwork, his feet lagged behind his punches. He could punch really well when he stood on the spot. But if you moved him about a bit, the gap started showing. So our plan was to move him, keep him moving. And it proved right. And also just jumping him at the start and getting him off his game a wee bit.
What's good about that fight is that you're actually landing like very clean punches. And was that part of your I guess it's part of everybody's game plan to land cleanly, but it was like one of those things that you came in and you just like let it rip in the inside as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So even the way I fought through the amateurs was to punch clean and clearly, so all judges could see it from all areas. So I wouldn't try to smother myself too much and throw too many little shots. If I was going to go throwing inside and make sure my hands were thrown with blistering speed, and then something over the top as well, like boom, 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 and then over the top, and then from long distance, not too much pitter-patter, just long, clean strikes.
Now with the strap, do you think you're going to be in some nice big money fights?
Yeah, hopefully, mate. Hopefully, maybe we'll come out of retirement. So yeah, I'm all about the money will be what it's gonna be. Like I haven't always pressed that too much because it's all about the accolades and how far I can get with boxing. And I've always believed that I can be a world champion. So the next stop will be climbing up the IBO ranks, and we're literally 2 fights away from a world title fight. We've got to fight an intercontinental one, and then we get the world championship one. So 2 fights away, I'll be the next world champion.
Do you think Billy Dib is aware of who you are? Does he know who you are?
Probably not.
Well, now,
but they all will soon. They all know my name soon.
Because that's the big fight, right? I mean, if you get a win over over Billy Dib, that's massive, right? I mean, that's a superstar status in Australian boxing, right?
Absolutely. So they'll know who I am soon enough. Like, Joel didn't know who I was, which was a big mistake because he should have studied me more. Because so I hope they don't know about me anyway. But I think I'm running out of surprises, and they will study me now.
I think like another fight we should actually look at is probably your fight against Cairo George, because that was a nice fight.
It was a really good fight. Yeah, it was probably one of the fights I learned most out of as well. Like Cairo's a quality fighter, and we've been in camp quite a few times since then. Like there's a great thing about New Zealand boxing, we're always helping each other. Like he's got a tough fight in Singapore in September, like against the #1 lightweight in Singapore. See, we know all about each other's fights and our opponent's style, and we're all about helping each other now. Like he'll go a long way. Cairo, he's nice and young as well. I think he's still in his 20s, 27 or something, and he's got a long good career ahead of him. Like he's talented. He helped me out heaps for this fight as well. So thanks, Cairo, brother.
How does Cairo help you out? Isn't he training at Hamilton? And so how do you guys meet up and stuff?
So I fly up to Auckland, and we meet up in Auckland at Lolo's gym.
Oh God, are you training with Lolo as well?
Yeah, Lolo does a lot of work with me. Like he's probably the person I train with mostly up in Auckland. Like he's a very smart man. He's a very special coach. Like he sees a lot of things that I don't see, and that's why I have to fly up there. Every time I'm flying up to Auckland for camps, I've never been beaten.
Let's have a look at your 2 fights with Clancy. What's his name? Geroid Clancy. There are 2 big wins, winning both the WBF title and the IBO Oceania title in the lightweight division.
Yeah.
Since you won it twice, what did you do to make it look like you didn't expect the same opponent?
Yeah, so Geroid called the rematch on that one. Like that guy is strong though. He can hit like an ox. So we just had to be careful on our approach the second time. Like in the first time we did the scouting right, but the second time we didn't know what to expect because he called the rematch and he would have made the adjustments. But yeah, we pressed forward on that fight and got a good win on that one.
Hey, Nort, with all these fights between weights, what do you prefer to be at? I mean, what do you walk around at if that's not giving away too much? And what weight do you actually prefer to be at? Featherweight?
So yeah, I will be campaigning at featherweight from now on, or if there's a chance at super bantamweight, will be that as well. But if I drop weight, I'll be a world class fighter immediately. There's nothing I need to change. Like the biggest hit on me is that I'm quite small for lightweight and super featherweight. Even though I've fought up at welterweight and whatnot, I'm still a small lightweight. But yeah, so if I drop down, I can be world class immediately.
What's the lowest weight do you think you can actually reach?
Super bantam.
Super bantam. Because as you say, you're quite small. 5'1". I mean, it is pretty small. I mean, I think that brings a surprise.
I think they got it wrong. I don't think I'm 5'1". I got measured today on a proper body composition thing, and I'm 5. I'm 163 centimeters, whatever that one is.
Yeah, I'm sure they got that wrong.
Yeah. No, I'm not that short. Yeah, I get a lot of flack from the kids on that one. They're like, hey,
well, that sounds a lot better. 163, which is I don't know how many that's in feet. Googling it now.
And we talked about bantamweight. Even for this weight cut, was your diet pretty strict? I mean, obviously no bakery food, no Wendy's, no Macca's. Was that hard in terms of that sacrifice?
So it's not too bad actually. Super featherweight or lightweight. It's just about eating healthy. I don't need to diet too much. Like it's about I walk around about 63, and then it's all about getting the weight drop right. Like you don't want to drop too much weight during camp because you want the energy to train with. So I stay quite heavy, and then just do a big weight drop, which is so the first battle you need to win is training camp. Second battle was the weight drop, and then the real fight.
Beautiful.
And there you go. I just updated box trick for you. Now you're officially 5'4".
Hey, so we talked about it before. Obviously, you want to jump back as soon as you can. The eye's looking not too bad. What dates have you actually set in place? Is it too soon? Is there a month or time you would like to jump back in?
I could fight in a month. I'm ready. I'm uninjured. That's just cosmetic. you know.
It's a weapon.
It's a weapon, yeah. So, but yeah, I'm fine. I can fight in a month. I can fight in a few weeks. I feel fresh. Like I didn't take any damage. It was quite refreshing fighting at that lighter weight. To be honest, like yeah, you don't take as much damage, or your body's not as sore as compared to with the Kyle McKenzie fight, which he was quite a hard puncher, or he was a really hard puncher.
And that power still, you know, even at the lighter weights, you still feel powerful, like still as strong.
Oh yeah, mate, I'm still strong. I've got the fastest hands in the country as well. Oh yeah, too quick.
I know you said you come up here quite a bit. You've got to let us know. That seemed like a bit of a secret, and Kyra hasn't let us know that as well. It'd be great next time you are up for all of us to get together if possible, and because that was news to me that you guys were doing that much work together, or you jump in now and then,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll let you know. I basically was just getting itchy feet because I was winning a lot of rounds too easy down here. So it was probably about the Wednesday that I said, I'm going to book some flights and come up. And I was up on that Saturday, and I just called Chad Milnes up and got him and a couple of New Zealand team together, and then for one sparring session, and then Cairo for the other one.
I was looking at the rankings of Joel before his loss, and he was actually ranked 104 on BoxRec, and I think it was like 7th on WBA. So 12th on WBA now. Probably might change soon. Wouldn't that be great if you like come up from 15th on WBA and like now you've got a target on your back for that ranking?
Oh, absolutely. That'll be a dream. So I think there was a WBA eliminator touted on the fight as well. So hopefully that amounts to something. And yeah, I'll be extremely grateful for a WBA ranking, and it'll be a dream come true as well.
So where are you ranked in the WBA at the moment? Because Joel was number 12. So are you number 12 now by beating him, or?
We'll have to wait to see. I think end of the month the new rankings come out. So I wouldn't be surprised to see myself in there.
Yeah, end of July or beginning of August-ish.
All right, North. That's a long interview, man. That's like 30 minutes. North, you got any more questions, Isaac?
No, you said it's so easy to talk to Nort.
Yeah,
He's
I know.
a pretty humble guy. I guess too, your success and career has been quite organic, and it just shows by like who you are talking to you now and how long I've known you. So, man, we love supporting you, and we wish you the best. Can't wait to see that world title strap, brother.
Oh, I think we've lost him. Probably disconnected by accident.
Anyway, but North, you still there?
Is there anyone out there?
Anyway, that's a good time. But anyway, we just all like to congratulate North on. I think it will go down as one of the biggest upsets of the year in Australasia. One of the biggest upsets in the Trans-Tasman, at least for 2018, getting that win over Joel. And he's come a long way from the amateurs, and he's doing well in the pros. So hopefully we see him up in the rankings. And yeah, so congrats to North, and we thank him for taking the time to talk with us. Isaac, thank you very much. Benji, thank you.
No problem.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, guys.
See you guys.
See ya.
Thank you.